in the election in Israel, despite calling Iran's president right away after Rouhani won for his post. It is not surprising in the opinion of Charles Krauthammer.
Look, it's clear that Obama loathes Netanyahu more than any other world leader, meaning more than the Ayatollah in Iran or Putin in Russia. And he did everything he could to unseat him, but he failed.
Steve Hayes, a senior writer for the Weekly Standard and a Fox News contributor. Steve, good morning. Good to have you with us today.
Morning, Martha.
So what do you make of this, and what do you make of the fact that it looks like a deal might be getting closer? And the backdrop of that is the anger that clearly exists towards Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel from the White House.
Well, you think of what Charles Krauthammer just said, and if somebody had suggested that Charles would be saying that 6 years ago, we would have probably surmised that it was hyperbole. Really, does President Obama really hate Benjamin Netanyahu that much? But I think the evidence is there to back Charles up on that claim, and we're seeing more of it today. I mean, just in the past 24 hours, we've gotten news about some of the details of this deal with Iran, which represents basically a full capitulation of the United States. And also, you've got leaks from the White House suggesting that the White House is going to abandon Israel at the United Nations, which would be unprecedented. I mean, we haven't seen that kind of talk even since Jimmy Carter. So I think the evidence supports what Charles is arguing there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big picture to be looked at here with regard to the future. Are we changing forever our relationship with Israel? Or certainly, you know, it will not change, it doesn't appear, over the years of the Obama presidency, which is a couple of years longer. And you think about the fact that all of this happens simultaneously. The president obviously was very unhappy that Benjamin Netanyahu came here to speak. He wanted the election to go the other way by all accounts, and now it's gone against them. So will that nudge the White House even more in terms of doing the deal that they know Netanyahu does not want them to do in Iran?
Look, I think the White House was going to do that deal anyway. I mean, the president's been saying for several months now that the deal was less likely than 50-50 proposition. I don't think that was ever true. The White House wants this deal. The Iranians want this deal. I suppose it's possible that at the last minute something could throw a wrench in it. The president could decide that domestic politics here are more important than this long-term deal, given the risks involved in the deal. But look, the White House has wanted this deal for a long time. What's really surprising, given Netanyahu's reelection, is the way that the White House has responded. I mean, this petulant sort of outburst of leaks against Netanyahu, criticizing the way that he ran his campaign, going after him on several different fronts, and making arguments that there are going to be repercussions for the way that Netanyahu won. I mean, this is the kind of talk that you would expect to hear about an adversary, about a foe, and yet we're hearing it from this White House about the president. The one question I have is, what is Congress going to do about this? I mean, Republicans have the majority in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. You've got the President of the United States and White House officials, in effect, on the president's behalf, threatening to abandon Israel at the United Nations, to potentially seek sanctions against Israel, to talk about making his U.S. ambassador persona non grata. You've got all of these threats. Why, if you're Republicans, why wouldn't you pass a resolution immediately, today, this afternoon, suggesting that the United States Congress stands behind Israel, will not countenance the abandonment of Israel at the United Nations Security Council, and see how many Democrats you can get to vote with you on that?
Yeah, it seems like there's some consensus building towards that. We'll see if it actually happens. Steve, thank you.